Hi, I'm Dolly Vasta, and welcome back once again to For Art's Sake. My guests today are Jane Milmore and Art Neal. And I'm going to open it up. I didn't give you a huge fanfare and all my... Did I introduce you wrong?
No.
No. I don't know. You gave me a strange look.
That's my patent look.
Is that your usual
Absolutely.
pattern? Thank you. But I'd like to thank you, Art, for filling in. And Art is filling in for Billy Van Zandt, who is Jane's partner in writing and directing some of the hottest shows that have been on the television in the last 2 or 3 years. And Billy was very busy. He's busy being a father of twins. His wife, Adrienne Barbeau, had twins last week. So
On St. Patrick's Day.
on St.
That's
Patty's
right,
Day,
yeah.
that's right. So he couldn't make it, and Art is filling in for him, which is great, because he's an old friend and he's easy to talk to.
It's
And
much easier to talk to than Billy for me.
Now, we're not going into personalities here. Please, please. Okay, what are some of the shows that, before we get on what you're working on now, that the two of you and Billy worked on?
Oh,
I know the Richard Lewis show, and I can't think of the
Anything
name.
But Love, Daddy Dearest, Martin Lawrence, Newhart, Nurses. I can't think of any of them. Bless This House, and now we're doing a pilot based on a British show called Waiting for God with Olympia Dukakis, Richard Mulligan, and Michael McKean.
When will that go on?
It might not ever go on. It depends. We're just editing it now, and then you hand it to. It's for CBS, and then CBS, in the middle of May, decides they probably have 50 pilots, which 15 will go on the air in the fall.
Do you find that discerning when you put so much work into something, and then you have to sit and wait?
Yeah, I'm not a real patient person. I pretty much like instant gratification most of the time. But I like it because it gives me time off to come back here and do this.
Okay, and all right, well, we'll get on to this. There is a group here that Billy had started some time ago.
It wasn't
I'm not
started,
mistaken.
it evolved.
Yeah, it's
It
more like it, yeah.
just happened.
Well, so tell us about it.
Go ahead.
No, you do that.
Well, I met them quite a few years ago, probably in the neighborhood of 12 to 15 years ago, I
Yeah,
guess.
probably.
I had auditioned for a show that Billy was directing, and the show went fine, and the next thing I knew, I was in a production that they were doing that they had written, and little bit by little bit, you pick up actors and actresses along the way to fill the spots, and since they're back for a very short period of time every year, having an audition to find new people is not exactly economical, so you just go to the people that you know you can trust. And what has happened is we formed a company that kind of gets
An
together once a
unofficial rep company, yeah.
unofficial rep company that gets together once a year and does a show. And oh, you're going to do what you did in so and so, and you're going to do what you did in so and so, and you're the dumb guy, and you're the
Well,
woman.
we're trying to change it sometimes.
All right,
It makes it easier to write when you know who you're writing for,
right.
too.
Okay, but for the sake of the audience that really doesn't know that Billy has also written a whole slew of shows for community and regional theater. And, I mean, you have done them up at Franklin, we've done them at the Playhouse. Almost everyone around here has done one.
There's one in production real close by right now.
Right.
That's going up. Yeah.
The one that I saw that I thought was really funny, and they're light farce, and they really are enjoyable, was What the Bellhop Saw.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun when we originally did it, too. That was one of my most favorite shows.
85? I think it was.
No, Bellhop was 89.
89, that's it. Yeah.
In fact, that's where I finally met up with Billy. Our paths had crossed for so many years, and we finally met, which was fun. So what are some of the names of some of the shows?
Love, Sex, and the IRS, which is not my favorite. It's just
But
a
probably
first.
the most popular,
Yeah.
particularly this
What
time
the
of year.
Bellhop Saw.
Yes, yes, it's big on April 15th.
Yeah. The musical, of course.
Merrily We Dance and Sing. Yeah, that's one we want to do again because we like it. Drop Dead.
Is that a statement to one of us?
God, I can't think of any titles. Till Death Do Us Part. Do Not Disturb, which
Right.
Olympia Dukakis is going to direct at
Summerfest.
Montclair Summer Festival with her daughter in it this June.
Terrific, terrific. All right, so what is this one that you're doing now? What is the name of it? I have it here somewhere.
Silent Laughter.
Silent Laughter.
This is completely different than anything we've ever done. You have to, what did we say? You have to see it to believe it.
That's about right.
It's more a theatrical experience than a traditional play.
Right. Right. It's a little bit different. I don't know of
It tells me
anything like it.
exactly nothing.
Yeah, well, it's an homage to silent films. And it's very physical, it's very...
It's a technical nightmare as it stands right now.
It's very scary.
Yeah, it's so different than what we're used to. We're used to performing. Most farces are done on a single set.
Right.
Things do not move. This is
Except the
completely
actors.
a lot.
Very fast.
Yeah, actors move
This
quickly.
one takes place in 1917, and it's in Manhattan, in France. I mean, it goes all over
Mansions,
the world.
restaurants, parks.
Yeah.
And it's just a little different. We have a lot
Prisons,
of
yeah.
prisons. We have. Thank you for bringing that up. We have a lot of moving elements, and a couple of technical things we're going to try to accomplish that we've never done before. Billy and Jane always do a show that is always some kind of a signature thing at the end of the show, something new. This entire show is like a signature piece. It's
Well, the musical was completely
Yeah.
a new thing when we did that, and that was very scary, and then it turned out to be one of my favorite shows, so I'm hoping that happens with this one.
When you start, how do you start? Seriously, what gives
They're
you
all
the
different.
idea
Every
that
story's
prompt-
different.
that- okay,
Every,
what
sometimes
prompted this?
you'll say, I want to tell this story, and you just sit down and write it. Sometimes you'll say, let's do a farce, and let's have, it's much more structured. You do an outline, who went in this door, who went out that door, and that kind of thing. And this one was based on Billy's great love of silent films and my personal love for Charlie Chaplin. So it was kind of, and a friend had the idea, actually said, why don't you try to do this? And we said, okay, let's try it. In fact, we were talking about doing another musical and instead did
Right.
this.
So it's kind of like a silent film, but with dialogue.
But on stage.
but on stage.
With dialogue.
Maybe. There's a form of communicating going on, yes.
Okay. Maybe.
You'll have to come to see to
Okay,
find out.
Maybe with.
There is live music, though.
Yeah, there is music.
There is live music.
There is live
and special
music.
effects. And,
A little bit of everything.
Now you're directing it,
Yes,
co-directing it.
co-directing it with Billy. Yeah.
which is nice, because then Billy isn't the boss of everything.
Gee, I'm hearing all this wonderful stuff. You realize this is not just a little living room. This really does go back to a lot of acts.
Well, no, it's because we work so closely together, and it usually comes down to, I want to do it this way, or I want to do it this way, and it's nice to have somebody that I can go and say, all right, what do you think? And then Billy go, yeah, maybe we will do that. Where if I say it, he'll just say no.
When you write with Billy, do you ever fight with him?
Oh, constantly. It's a painful,
I mean, I see you're
horrible
getting
process.
hysterical here. It is a painful process?
Well,
have two
just for
different-
us.
Okay, do you have two different styles?
No, actually, our sensibilities are very, very similar, and the same things usually make us laugh. It's just getting to that point that's a little difficult.
That was the next question, getting to it, because I have worked with people, and one of them is my husband. And what happens is you're aiming for the same place, but
It's the road you took to get
that's
there.
right.
I always take the high road, he takes the low road.
I always start at the ending and then work this way.
Yeah, and it's true. And sometimes I'll have an end, and I just have to know how to get there. Or
Right.
sometimes he'll have a beginning and say, help me get out of this. And every show has been different. And sometimes we've worked totally separate, and then we'll meet at a certain point, exchange things. And then other shows, this one, we worked line by line pretty much all together.
You
From
just
beginning to
said
end.
that it wasn't dialogue.
No, I said that there's dialogue. I mean, there's communication.
Yeah.
The written word is very much involved in this production. Boy, we're making this sound weird.
Yeah.
But no, there.
No, you're just confusing the living daylights out of
So you'll have to come. You'll have to come
trying
see
to
it
make
then.
sense of a show. That's what you're doing.
I mean, most people, when we tell them what that we're going to do, they go, "Oh, wow!"
Oh, wow.
And then the next line is, "If you pull that off."
Some of
It
my
could be
friends
great.
are like, "You're gonna what?"
Yeah.
But
My own husband says, "I can't picture it."
yeah,
He does not, you know.
Well, right now I'm having a problem myself.
So are we in some of our technical meetings.
Yeah.
But it was no different than when we said, let's do a musical. They said, you're going to write music? And we said, yeah, and everybody went, they couldn't picture it. And we did a lot of research on Gilbert and Sullivan, because that's what this musical was kind of based on. that type of operetta, and I had to sing my songs, and then Billy would transfer them into music because I can't read or write music. And but we did.
Yeah.
We wound up writing like 20 songs, and originally we
there
were
was a
only going to
lot
write
of
4 or
music.
5.
Now, have you written yourself into this one? I know you and Billy often write yourself into.
Oh, everyone we do. That's the only point in doing it, really.
It's nice. You write it, you cast yourself in it, and then you don't have to worry about it.
But also it helps to write something and actually perform it. It helps a lot in television. There's a lot of writers who, say, why won't the actor say it just the way I wrote it? And I said, because they have to say it out loud in front of people. And it's a little different. If you really don't want, I always tell writers who are very upset, if you are that in love with your words, then you should go write a novel, because television is basically a business. No matter what they say, they're selling soap, soup, or whatever. And it's not as pure an artistic work as a play or a novel would be. Most television is selling things, and you have to answer to those people that are paying to sell it.
So what you're really saying is that you make a lot of changes when the advertisers come down and take a
Well,
look
it's not
at
so
what
much
you're
the
saying.
advertisers, it's the network and the studios. We personally don't deal directly with the advertisers, but the shows will change based on the political climate anyway. I mean, sometimes you can do a joke in September and then Bob Dole will make a speech in October. You can't do that same joke in November. So the rules change all the time with television, and you write different if you're going to be on at 8 o'clock, or whether you're going to be on at 9:30, or whether you're 1 hour, or whether you're half hour, or whether there's children in the show. And then depending on what actors are involved, you gear things to them. When we write a play, it's purely to tell the story, and there's no other commercial or other influences involved in the final product except our vision of the show.
So the play is pure then,
Much more.
which
More
isn't
so.
saying much for television.
I mean, like, if we just want to tell a story, whatever the story may be, and make people laugh. I'm not trying to change things, thinking, oh, this won't get past a censor, or the network, doesn't like this. The head of CBS hates, these kind of jokes or things like that. I don't have to worry about that.
All right, when you come up with a concept then to write for television, how do you go about it? Do you think in terms of who you might want in it, a character that you already have in mind? I mean,
Sometimes, some shows are like that. Sometimes you write a pilot and then go cast it. A lot of times they'll say, here's Olympia Dukakis and she wants to do this. Are you interested in doing that? They said Richard Lewis and Don Rickles as father and son. Take that. So that's what you do, yeah.
Oh boy.
They're all different. That's completely different.
What was it like working with them?
And I love Don Rickles. He's my favorite person I've
Is
ever
he?
worked with. He's a very nice man, and we're still friendly.
He seems warm underneath
Yeah.
all that other
He
nonsense.
had a little trouble learning lines, and Richard had a little trouble learning lines, so together it was a hard show. But we got through it.
Is Richard Lewis as...
He's crazy.
I was going to thank
He's
you.
nutty. I like him a lot. We
was
had a
gonna
lot
say,
of fun.
Is he really as strange
But
as
he's-
he seems to be?
Most
Or is that a
really
put on?
creative people like stand-up comedians, they're a little nuts, I think.
Well, I've talked to a lot of them,
and
and
they're-
some of them are very sane, though. They're
Yes.
very, that's a business.
Newhart was very, very
This
sane,
is,
down
I'm a
to earth.
business.
And so,
I come in and
yeah.
I be funny, and that's it.
And Don Rickles is like that too, very professional and more business-oriented. Richard Lewis, to get his creative thing going, he goes really far out places. So a lot of them are like that.
Do you think that is the new breed of comedian, though, really? It seems to me the names you have mentioned to really consider it business, Bob Newhart, Don Rickles,
Every show
they've been around a long time.
Well, yeah, but Don Rickles was also an actor, had done a lot of films.
Right.
You get a little different response when they've come through that. When they've just done stand-up, they tend to not trust other people because they've only done their own stuff, their own material. In Hollywood now, they tend to do, there's a lot of shows based on stand-up comedians. In fact, this pilot with Olympia Dukakis and Richard Mulligan is the first pilot I've ever done that doesn't have a stand-up comedian in it.
Who else is in it?
Stand-up that I've worked with?
No, I mean in this one that's coming out.
There is no stand-ups in the one I'm doing now.
No, I know, but I mean, who else is in the show?
Oh,
besides
Julie
Olympia?
Haggerty, Michael McKeon, and John Seigan, New Jersey local.
Yeah,
an
that's what you were
Yeah.
saying earlier.
And he's wonderful in it. He plays Richard Mulligan's son.
I like Richard Mulligan.
And that's a hard process. He had to come in and audition for us, with network executives and studio executives. It's very nerve-wracking. And I was in the back going, oh, please, please.
Be good, be good.
Yeah. And he was great. He's very, very good in it.
That's neat to know that someone makes it.
But I
That's
know
right.
a lot of people always think that it's, oh, so you got your friend a job, and it's never like that. You go through this agonizing process to
I
try
think it
to
would be
pull it off.
tougher when it was a friend.
It
When
is
you know them.
very, very
I know
painful.
when you just cast locally and you have to turn someone down that you really and truly like, it's difficult.
It's nice to pass it off on someone else. Well, I liked you, but
I
Yeah.
like
you
you,
know,
but
the
he
network.
That's what we do. That's what you have to do, yeah.
They just didn't like you. Sorry.
Well, you know, locally you say, well, geez, I really wanted you, but the, you know, the musical director,
Can't figure that guy out. Yeah.
And
But-
it's scary on the other side of it, too. Like, we're having auditions tomorrow for Silent Laughter for 2 of the roles, and I know I'm going to go, so what? What do you think? I mean,
Which is going to be interesting. I think we're going to see
Yeah.
people that I have no acquaintance with,
and then some that you do.
and some that I do, and we know what the product is, but they don't. So we have to try and get an audition out of them that'll show us what we need to know that they're capable of without,
of a show that
yeah,
doesn't
without
talk,
laying it
maybe,
on the line.
or
And say,
maybe
Well,
it does.
yeah. So it's going to be a real challenge. We still have to get together and figure out
How we're
what
going to
exactly
do
we're going to
that,
ask them
yeah.
to do. But then we're going to have an audition starting at 10 o'clock, and then we're going to call some people back, and then we have to tape them. And that'll go back out with Jane so that Billy can take a look at them.
And every person that auditions, there'll be a sheet of paper with their name and Art's notes next to it, and my notes next to it.
I didn't know about that, but okay.
That's how we did it the last
Wow.
time. He didn't make the last auditions we had either.
That's true.
Have you ever been fooled by anybody at an audition?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that
yeah.
you thought,
They're called professional auditioners.
Auditioners.
I mean, this has happened to us. And you really think they're going to be so great until they go
You find out that that was it.
And you, you spend the whole show going, huh? And then there's people that are really bad auditioners that are wonderful performers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the auditioning process is almost a completely separate thing.
Okay, how do you see through that? Now, Joe did a lot of directing, and he has his own method of seeing through, of being able to see through whether someone could give him what he wanted.
Well, generally an improv will
But-
give that away, too.
Yeah.
If they're prepared to do a certain thing, and if you just put a monkey wrench to them, and they have a hard time dealing with change or coming up with something new and creative, that'll usually give it away.
Or if you take the same scene and say, okay, that was great. Now do a 90-degree turn and do the scene this way if
Do
they
the
can't
opposite or
make the
whatever,
change.
yeah.
That's usually what they'll ask, even in television auditions, very similar.
Really?
Just to see if they can take direction. And there'll be people that go, oh, all right, watch this. This one's completely different. And it's exactly the same. And you're like, oh, okay. Because in television, you don't have the time. They really have to get it the first time out because you're doing a show a week once it's in series. And that's why you'll see a lot of the same people guest starring on a lot of the same shows because you can count on them. You know, they'll just say, oh, get this guy because I know he can do this.
Yes, he can memorize fast.
Yes, and he'll always get the laugh. He knows how to hit the joke. He takes direction.
That must be tough when you get someone, though, say for a television show, who has been a motion picture star. And they have sometimes a longer period of time to learn.
And plus, they never learn a whole show.
That's it. They learn little
a minute or
tiny
two a day,
pieces,
and not
two,
in sequence.
2 or 3 scenes. And
When you do a sitcom, you're learning a little half-hour play from beginning to end every week. It's very close to theater in that respect. So you usually don't want someone who's never experienced that before. You don't want that. But if you do have it, which we have, you surround them with people who know how and have done it, and that helps them with the process. Olympia was a little afraid. She'd never done a sitcom before, but Richard Mulligan had, so he really helped her along.
well, it's retraining the mind. And just, I mean, I know that most times you try to get dialogue word for word, but is it that important in a sitcom?
On certain jokes, yeah. There's
Well, when a setup and a
Yeah,
joke,
that's pretty much, the network usually says we want 3 jokes a page. And if somebody screws even one setup, you lost a joke. And they time it. They want so many laughs, so many times, unless you're doing a serious scene. But yeah, and that's, a lot of people don't understand why the words have to be right. You can take 2 sentences that mean the exact same thing. One will get a laugh and one won't. And then there's rhythm jokes,
Right.
which
Right.
no one knows why they get a laugh.
Right, or just things that are funny.
Well, there's a whole set of
Words,
rules.
words,
K-words are
words,
funny,
words,
cookies funny,
certain words that
only
are funny.
odd numbers are funny, even numbers aren't. And supposedly most jokes have an odd number of words in them, which goes back to rhythm, but I don't know how
Yeah,
true
there
it
is.
But you can look at some things and just change 2 words and it'll get a huge laugh. So sometimes the words are a lot more important than I think people think they are.
I was interested in what you just said, though, that the networks want 3 laughs a page.
That's the average, pretty
3
much for a
jokes a
sitcom,
page.
yeah. I mean, they don't come out with a stopwatch, but
Yes.
it's pretty much, that's how it goes. And when you test pilots, they sit people in a room and they have dials. And as they're watching the show, the dial, they turn it up and down as they like it and don't like it. And if you go down for a long, long period of time, you usually either go back in and put a joke or you edit time out so that it doesn't slump for that long.
Well, your career really has taken off now, hasn't it?
If you like television, I guess. I want to come back to the theater. My big thing is, please let this show be a hit so I don't have to do this anymore. That's what I said to Olympia.
Right.
You better get this right because I want this to be the last one.
You really don't care for television?
I actually don't mind doing pilots, but your reward for doing a pilot, which takes 4 or 5 months, is okay, now you have to do one of these a week and they all better be just as good. And it's a really hard work.
I'm sure
It's a
it
real
is.
grind. I mean, you can't just say, oh, we didn't get it this week, you can't put this show on.
Yes.
So it's long hours if there's problems, and it's a very tiring, stressful job.
People have a strange concept of what it's like out there. I'm from the East Coast.
This is what I'm trying to...
And
what
I've
you're
called
saying-
them, Billy will call me on the phone, and it's a little bit after 10 here. So he's at the office already, 3 hours, that's, a little bit after 7. And I'm going, what are you doing? It's the only time I can work. It's the only time I can work. The phones aren't ringing, blah, blah. And then they'll be calling me at home, and it'll be like, late at night at my house, and they're still at the office going away. So it's not what everybody sees in some of the movies. It's not like they just drive up in the middle of the afternoon, look at one take, and then leave. They're going all the time out there. You
Well,
call the office, and sometimes there's no one around because they're out working all day.
I don't think any part of this business is glamorous.
Yeah.
No,
It
truly
really isn't. It's
and,
work.
and every time, whether it's a play or whether it's a sitcom, that you even get a finished product, every time I just go, people knew what went on to get that. It's a miracle anything gets done.
I get the same remarks I was telling Art before about this, and it's a simple show, but oh gee, it's so, you make so much money, which
Right.
is really funny. That's the biggest laugh right there. And the second one is, you just get up there and you sit there and you talk. Not that you've given this thought, or if it's someone you don't know, a tremendous amount of research, and I certainly don't have a staff, so it's me who does it.
It's amazing. Sometimes I stand backstage. I notice it more in theater, and there is so much going on this far off stage onto the wings that the audience is clueless. I mean, there's people screaming, yelling, things are dropping, people are crying,
That's
running.
a Van Zandt Milmore show. They aren't all like
Well,
that. That's one of yours.
I always said
I'm always like, I can't believe this is coming together.
that the greatest choreography is to stand backstage, and particularly when you are down at Roosevelt Theater at the, at the opening of theater down here, at a musical.
It's amazing. Yeah.
It's more fascinating to watch what is happening backstage than almost what is happening on stage.
The one funny thing about Billy and Jane shows are that the person you bump into backstage was is probably a guy in a dress or a woman in a suit. You never know who you're standing next to. You turn around and you really don't want to see what's going on.
No, you really don't. It's just...
Well, listen, in the short time that we do have left, now, you used to do the shows at one theater, but now you have switched over.
We did them at the Henderson Theater, which was on Christian Brothers
Christian Brothers
Academy
Academy.
in Lincroft. We're right across the street at Brookdale Community College now.
That is a gorgeous college.
Oh, and they have a great theater.
Do they have a
next
great
door.
Terrific
Really
theater.
excited.
They have a fantastic television studio too down there.
Oh, they're just
I did a
wonderful.
conference there one weekend.
Yeah, it's a great facility. It's perfect for farce. They have a lot of tricks up their sleeve. It's designed by the same person who did the theater at Christian Brothers, but it's just
All the
with all the stuff that they should have put in initially. over there.
trapdoors, fly systems, wings,
catwalks,
everything that we needed to do
Right,
the kind
to
of
make
stuff
it
we
work.
wanted
The
to.
difference being a prep or a high school going to a college.
Because what Billy and I do is we're always calling Art, because we can always reach him at his theater. And like when we did the musical, we'd go, all right, listen, and we'd sing 5 lines to him on the phone. Or we'll call him,
What
say,
do you
what do you think of this? Or guess what we're going to make this person do? And now he'll go, yes, you can do that. No, you can't do that. On one of the songs, you just said, you have crossed the line. You cannot do that. You go back. And we both hung up like little kids going, okay. We came up with something else for him.
Yeah, almost as bad.
All right, well, when is this going on? I mean,
It opens May 22nd,
and it runs, how long does it run?
Through June 6th.
3 weekends.
Yeah, 3 weekends. It opens Memorial Weekend and runs the 2 weekends after that. And you can get tickets by calling
The Brookdale Community College Performing Arts
Arts
Center
Center.
box office. I got that all out.
Yeah. Okay, in the fast time that we have left, I always ask this as a last question, really fast. If you had your druthers, and you just said it
I
before.
think she's going to try to make us cry like Barbara Walters.
No. I don't do that, because now you only have 1 minute. And actually, it's me who usually cries. You see? You're talking to someone that cries at a Lassie movie. I don't watch them because I cry. So, no, I wouldn't do that to anyone. But if you had your druthers, you had just said you would prefer doing stage work,
Yeah.
writing for the stage. Would you prefer being in it as a performer?
Now I always want to do both. If I'm not in it, I want to be in it. And if I'm in it and I'm not writing it, then I want to go fix the writing. So it's whatever I'm not doing is what I want to do more.
The grass is always greener. And yourself, Art?
Theater.
Theater. Just theater.
We want to go to London and do some theater there.
That would be great. It's just where I feel the most comfortable.
That's where you're the best.
Yeah.
And I'm getting this sign, and I don't know where. Do you know what that means? It means
That's the polite version.
But thanks so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Really, Art, thank you for subbing.
My pleasure.
I'll see you all next month. In the meantime, take care.